Welcome to this AsIAm explainer. In this video we will explain the DPO Network submission to the Joint Oireachtas Committee on Autism. Education. As discussed in our previous video, the Joint Oireachtas Committee on Autism heard from various community members and their experiences in Irish society. Many disabled persons organisations, such as the DPO Network, were consulted by the Joint Oireachtas Committee. The DPO Network submission to the Joint Oireachtas Committee is based on consultation with the autistic and disabled community. Education. Ireland should develop an inclusive education system in line with Article 24 of the UNCRPD, where all children are educated in their local community. In reality, Ireland has a piecemeal and reactive approach to inclusive education practices. There is a heavy reliance on special schools and autism classes to address shortcomings in the system. The shortage of local schools which meet disabled students' needs means they sometimes must travel great distances to attend an appropriate school place. Families have difficulty accessing their Special Educational Needs Organisers, or SENOs, and most of the EPSIN Act has not yet commenced. The DPO network makes the following recommendations. Provide training to primary, secondary and third level students nationwide on disability equality, including autism acceptance. Develop and promote the use of targeted on-campus supports for autistic people in further education. Promote the use of universal design in learning, in teacher training, and in designing future primary, secondary and third level curricula. Expansion of access to the Middletown Centre for Autism pilot programme for young autistic people needing support within the education system. Conduct an independent review of the quality of education provision for autistic people. This is crucial to evaluate where we currently are. Special needs assistance should be made available to children with intellectual disabilities from the start of primary school, to avoid children being moved to special school due to insufficient support. All teachers should be taught to teach and communicate with people with intellectual disabilities. Teachers should be taught to use accessible writing formats, such as easy to read and plain text. People with intellectual disabilities should be employed in appropriate jobs in the school and be visible to everybody, promoting inclusion in the process. Include and recognise Irish Sign Language within the EPSIN Act. Encourage its use in all educational settings and include it in the school curriculum. Seek consultation in relation to deaf education and its outcomes from deaf experts. Encourage the employment of deaf people in schools with deaf students. Reform and promote the ISL tuition scheme, as many hearing parents are unaware of this scheme. Reasonable accommodations, including assistive technology, should be made available to deaf students who do not use ISL in the classroom. Introduce a complete ban on the use of seclusion and restraint in school settings. While transitioning to a complete ban, educational settings should be required to report instances of seclusion or restraint to parents and guardians. The Departments of Education and Children, Equality, Disability, Integration and Youth should co-create a national strategy to plan transition to UNCRPD compliant education system. Goals and targets of this strategy should be identified in close consultation with disabled people through their representative organisations with particular focus on children's voices. Ministers should provide an annual update on the implementation of this strategy to the DAL and relevant CRPD regulatory bodies such as IREC. Implement the EPSIN Act in its entirety, ensuring that disabled people have statutory rights to individualised assessments, educational plans and related supports. Ensure access to support and a wide variety of communication methods is embedded across law and policy related to EPSIN to facilitate young disabled people to express their view. Stay tuned for our next video, which will explain self-advocacy. Thank you for watching this AsIAm explainer.